to friends, colleagues, fellow citizens, family, thank you all for being here this evening. So welcome on this beautiful Oregon night, no rain, very beautiful skies. Thank you all for coming here. My name is Joseph Orozco. I am one of the commissioners on the City of Corvallis Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Commission. And it is my job to come here and to welcome you all for coming this evening to this wonderful event and to join us tonight in celebration of the spirit of Dr. King here in Corvallis. So I have a few introductions to talk about and set some things up. But the real star of the show this evening is here with us today, John Hunter, and we're going to be screening his film this evening. We have so much to celebrate this evening. This is marvelous. Thank you all for coming here and filling up the theater. This would have been Dr. King's 85th birthday, if he had not been taken from us so prematurely. And there's great celebrations in terms of his work this year. This marks the 50th anniversary of his being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his work in the Montgomery bus boycott starting in 1955. He was awarded the prize in December of 1964. And this is also the anniversary of the Civil Rights Act that Congress passed, trying to put an end to the legal segregation and discrimination of African Americans in this country and opening the way towards much fuller equality and the empowerment of the African American community here, and a milestone of the Black freedom struggle in the United States. So these are some big anniversaries this evening, and we come together to honor the work of Dr. King in helping to make our country a better place, to helping us to build a beloved community. And one of the things that's so wonderful about being here today is that Corvallis is a community that does care about these issues. And we should be very proud of the fact that we have a city government that has a standing commission whose work is to preserve and to continue and to extend and to educate about the work of Dr. Martin Luther King in the city of Corvallis. And that's what we're here to do tonight, and that's part of our work. And I'm very proud to serve on this commission. And I want to thank my fellow commissioners who are able to make this work happen here today. So many of them are sitting in the audience around us, and so I want to extend my gratitude for working with such great colleagues in this important work that we do here today. The charter of the City Commission is actually found on the back of your program. You'll see exactly what our mission is to do. We are appointed by the mayor for 2-year terms to try to do a celebration of Dr. King, but we also have a much broader mission, which is, I said, to extend the legacy of Dr. King, to educate about it. And so we have a lot of fun together. We have a lot of serious conversations about how to make his legacy alive. And I think that we've done a really good job this evening. So I want to introduce my fellow commissioners on the commission. So our chair for this year is Jasper Smith. I'm sure, Jasper, if you could stand up and be recognized. Our vice chair is Esmeralda Reyes. Fellow Commissioner Marna Claywoman. Is Marna out there? We're also joined by Luis Rosa. Megha Shyam. One of our commissioners is not able to make it this evening because she's caught some of that stuff that's going around town, but we're also joined in our work by Shreen Wimbley Govea. So let's thank her. We, of course, have work to do with the City Council, and we have a permanent liaison that's assigned to us by the City Council to help us do our work, and that would be City Councilor Bruce Sorty. And I'm not sure if there are any other commissioners from the past in the room. Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. Well, our newest commissioner, I forgot, she's the new kid on the block, is Ronnie Sue. So, Ronnie, could you please? city councilors in the audience that could be recognized for our work. Thank you for coming this evening. Thank you very much, all of you, for being in here. I also want to thank our co-sponsors for this evening's showing of John Hunter's film, World Peace and Other Fourth Grade Achievements. I'll say remarks about John Hunter and the amazing work that he does. I've been lucky to share the past couple of days with John Hunter, and he's an amazing, amazing man. It's quite a pleasure to be with him, and we're honored to have him here. I want to thank, this evening is a really special event because it's a joint work between the city and Oregon State University. And so I want to thank some of the co-sponsors of this event who have been working with the city of Corvallis. We have received special assistance from the School of History, Philosophy, and Religion, and the director there is Ben Muchler, who is in the audience as well. Ben, if you could stand and be recognized. We also have received assistance from the Ava Helen and Linus Pauling Memorial Lecture Fund. John Hunter will be giving the Pauling Memorial Lecture tomorrow at the OSU campus at 7 p.m. in Milo Auditorium. It will be a lecture reflecting on some of the wisdom that he has learned about world peace from his students, and that will be tomorrow night. And so I want to invite you to come to share the time in the evening, John, and learn about the wisdom from these students. We've also received assistance from the OSU Peace Studies program and the Anaris Project for Alternative Futures at OSU. So thank you to those co-sponsors of this event this evening. All right. So we get our walking orders from the city charter, and someone who is a very big supporter of the work that we do is our mayor. And what's wonderful about the work that we do is we're able to encourage and sponsor and to support young folk from the area to think about how they can continue the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And we sponsor an essay contest for high school students in the area. And we're very lucky this evening to have some very, very, very insightful young folk to talk a little bit about the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King. We're going to recognize some of those winners tonight. And in order to do that, I would like to call up to stage right now the Mayor of Corvallis, the Honorable Julie Manuel.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. In addition to Councilor Rusorti, whom you met just a moment ago, the other two city councilors who are with us tonight are Councilors Mike Beilstein and Biff Traver. So we're so very pleased to be here this evening. And on behalf of the city of Corvallis, I'm so happy to add my welcome to tonight's event honoring the life of Martin Luther King Jr. I'd also like to add my thanks to the members of the city's MLK Commission who have worked together with fellow planners at Oregon State University for the past several months to organize tonight's program and the related activities, including the essay contest that we will learn more about shortly. Tonight's event recognizes Dr. King's work to promote peace and nonviolence in our communities and in our world. And as we are well aware, this topic is as timely and relevant today as it was during Dr. King's life. In 1964, amidst heated civil and racial unrest in the United States, Dr. King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, as was just referenced a moment ago. And in his acceptance speech, Dr. King said, "Sooner or later, all the people of the world will have to discover a way to live together in peace. If this is to be achieved, man must evolve for all human conflict a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation. The foundation of such a method is love." So how do we, in today's society, build a foundation of love? I would submit that it is through the example that we set for our children. and it is fitting then that tonight's event centers on children and schools. Local schools and students were involved in several aspects of this year's MLK celebration, including the essay contest for high school students. Participants were asked to develop entries that examined the progress we've made in the 50 years since Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, as well as the challenges that we still have to address. There were 28 entries from high school students throughout the city, and I understand from the commissioners who were involved in reading all of the essays that the decision this year selecting the winners was extremely difficult. And after reading the winning essays myself and inviting those winners to be presented at last night's city council meeting, I certainly can understand why the decision was so very difficult this year. There were 4 winners who were selected in this year's essay contest. And what I'd like to do is invite those 4 individuals to come and join me on the stage tonight. And you know, you thought that it was a little nerve-wracking standing in front of the city council last night, but you know, now you have to come up to the stage, and we're going to make it just a little bit tougher for you tonight. And while they're making their way up to the stage, and I'd like you to go ahead and start to do that now, I'd like to tell those of you in the audience what the winners are going to be receiving this evening. I'm listening for the patter of little feet coming up to the stage. Now we're talking, okay. They are going to be receiving a Visa gift card, a $250 college scholarship, and a certificate of achievement. And so these are our 4 winners. I'm going to... I'm going to ask each of these young ladies to introduce themselves to you, and I also am going to read to you a very short excerpt from each of their essays, which I think are extremely well written and very thoughtful. And you may remember the order in which I read your essays last night, and I think that you're in the same order tonight. Maybe you'll switch, right? Well, we've got this down. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready to do this. So I'll ask each of you to introduce yourselves and tell them where you go to school.
Hello, my name is Ayana Cameron Lewis. I am a senior at Crescent Valley High School.
I'm Emily Foster. I go to CHS and part-time at College Hill.
I'm Georgia Rye, and I go to CHS. I am a senior.
My name is Shravya Thadipalli. I'm an 11th grader at CV.
So I'd like to read to you a short excerpt of each of their essays, beginning with Ayana. Without diversity, the world would remain uniform and motionless, unmoved by new challenges and transcending ideas. Martin Luther King Jr. carried us miles and miles closer to his dream of equality. He ignited and directed an invaluable passion for humanity, but there is still road untraveled and passion yet unlit. To persist toward equality, we must overcome our fear. To overcome our fear, we must not pass it on to the next generation. Where we must head now is the road to ensuring that all children feel safe so they can develop in a community free of anxiety and abundant in appreciation and passion for all aspects of life. Next, we'll hear from Emily. We don't live in a post-racist society yet, but it's not impossible for one day. As long as we continue to raise awareness of social issues, the problems will get better. The best way for people to help is simply to call others out when they see any form of oppression. To quote MLK Jr., He who passively accepts evil is as much involved in it as he who helps to perpetuate it. He who accepts evil without protesting against it is really cooperating with it. When we work together, simply as fellow humans, we can accomplish great things. If you take one thing from this essay, let it be this: you can change the world's view. Let's make the true meaning of our nation's creed ring true. The truth is self-evident that all people are created equal. And next we hear from Georgia. Our dream is now to ensure that each and every human being is given the necessities to thrive, educationally, physically, and emotionally, consciously and spiritually. Our dream is to incorporate our earth into our daily lives in simple acts of nourishment, to eat organic, truly nutritious food without modifications. Our dream is to balance, heal, and evolve each other with our earth by educating ourselves and each other about forgotten basic skills of survival, to no longer change our environment with our own agenda in mind, but to create a common ground of understanding between our entire human race, that we are not here to fight for our survival or to diminish others or the earth, but to act as an organism with a purpose, a passion and belief in each individual's positive motive, and most importantly, to allow ourselves to remain fulfilled and grateful for the fruits of our labors each day before and after we have implemented a new foundation of sustainable cyclical existence. And finally, from Swava. With the 50th anniversary of King's I Have a Dream speech and the recent death of anti-apartheid leader Nelson Mandela, it is a good time for us to reflect as a nation how far we have come regarding race relations in this country. Obviously, we have come a long way. In the last 50 years, we have elected a black president and have lifted the ban on interracial marriage. In our own town, there has been incredible progress. Just a month ago, the Majestic Theater held a colorblind cast production of The Sound of Music, a wonderful and rare display. Evidently, there is still a long way to go. Racism still persists, crawling menacingly around every dark and dusty corner of American society. We pushed racism into those corners and then we left it alone. Now it's left to us to decide what happens to it. Will we let racism stay or work to exterminate the institution and realize Martin Luther King's dream? I say that we work to exterminate. Even if we never achieve the dream by the end of this century or even by the end of the next century, the goal of granting justice and equality for all is a goal worth accomplishing, and we must try hard to preserve these values. When we do realize the dream, we will finally be able to really say, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Please have a congratulations.